yeah, we're out here. OSU Fall Camp underway, day 2 of practice, and we are joined by the new defensive coordinator of the Ohio State Buckeyes. He is Matt Patricia. Good to see you, Coach. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Let's get it fired up. I'm ready to go. I'm excited to be on the show and just just so appreciative to be here and be at Ohio State.
Well, we were talking about how you were saying this is like your favorite time of day, which we were just talking about. This view, you've got the sun now coming up, so you got that like kind of dusky sky, the dawn sky happening. It's beautiful out here, and this has got to be right in your element, right, where you kind of have the whole field to yourself, and you can think about the torture you're going to put these guys through today.
You love the quiet. Everything's nice and calm right now, and it's going to be organized chaos here in just a little while. But just looking forward to get back on the field and try to improve from yesterday, get the guys out here. Training camp is really one of my favorite times of the year because, you're not in that game plan mode. You're just trying to improve every single day yourself as a coach, but also the players, working on fundamentals and techniques. And, the stress of that is obviously high, but it's just different than game planning. You're just all just trying to individually get better and collectively work together as a group.
So when you look at this team, obviously the D-line is the thing that a lot of people like to talk about. Like, that's their concern. When you look at this D-line and you see the players that's on there, have you come up with a scheme that you're like, all right, this is what we're going to be this year, this is how we're going to get after the quarterback and all those things?
Well, right now is the time we got to see all that, especially when we get the pads on.
Yeah.
We're not in pads right now, so we're doing some things schematically where we can take a look at movement calls and things like that. But when we get those pads on, we really got to see who can come off the ball, who can knock someone back, who can control the line of scrimmage. I'm excited for that. We get into those modes in camp, and it's not only we get the one-on-ones and we get a little bit of pod work, and then we can maybe go some inside drill, which, I love 9-on-7. Let's go. So I'm excited about it. Look, this group just hasn't had a lot of time to play. And thankfully last year you had a great veteran group that came back and dominated up front. These guys just got to get the reps. They're really talented, good players. It's just that amount of snaps they've had, we've got to get that as fast as possible.
Obviously, we've seen the reports. We saw yesterday Edric Houston had an injury, went down, left the field. The reports have been that it's not as bad as was initially thought. Anything you can offer there as far as hopefully he'll be back on the field sooner than later?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. You start going into that question, and I'm like, my old school training kicks right. We'll take it day by day, and we'll just get to it. I go right into that. I go right. Listen. How I was trained. There was like we had major constraints. It was like, no, this is. So I'm going to let Coach.
Are you on to Cincinnati? Is that what you're saying?
Being in Ohio, I love that now. I absolutely love that. We'll let Coach Day handle all that.
Okay, perfect. That sounds good. Yeah.
When you look at this defense, and you think about just the strength as being the secondary, I'm curious on that safety position because bias reasons. I know Caleb Downs is good, and we're talking about the other one, Malik Harford, Jalen McLeod. What are you seeing out of those guys, and what do you need to see for those guys to be on the field against Texas?
Yeah, 2 players I think that had really great springs and then carried that over into the summer. Guys that are learning kind of multiple different roles in the safety position, and really leadership is the biggest part. As you know, look, if you play safety, communication is number one, right? You have to get everybody lined up. You got to control your side of the field. You got to make sure you're communicating out to the corners. Those guys are really far away. That kind of maturity that we were able to see in the spring and the summer with those 2 back there, it just makes you feel comfortable, right? You're in the back part of that defense. You see everything in front of you, and you want to make sure that you know where everybody's going so that you can go play fast and aggressive. And I thought that's what they did a great job of. So the physical part of it right now, we got to get out in the field and see all that come to life. But the communication and really that leadership in the back part, that was great.
How much does the NFL side of you, obviously now you're here in college, but you've evaluated NFL talent for forever. When you see Caleb Downs and you see Jeremiah Smith on the field, how many times do you see that and go, we'll see this on Sunday? Like, you'll see this a lot on Sundays. Like, you're getting, it almost feels like an NFL camp out here now, doesn't it? Like a training camp, that kind of vibe, and then having those type of players on the field. We asked so many questions yesterday about Jeremiah Smith, but Caleb Downs is that guy on defense that just the entire country knows what he can do.
Those players elevate everybody around them, right? And that's what great players do. They raise the level of everyone around them, and those 2 certainly do that. And the competition now, you got one on each side of the ball that's kind of, picking that up. So now you see the rest of the DBs, they jump on board with that, whether it's IGB or Jermaine or the linebackers with Sonny and Arvell inside. When you're in that group, it's competitive as all get out. And the wide receivers, you see it the same on, the skill side on offense too with Jeremiah. They're like, okay, well, he's going to get some coverage. I'm going to get an opportunity. And I think that's one of the things that, as a player, when you're playing next to a great guy like that, you're like, hey, well, some more stuff's going to come my way, or I'm going to get opportunities to make a play. And that's when you really got to go out and shine.
Coach, you've done many, many training camps in the NFL. How do you compare Ohio State's training camp to the Patriots?
Yeah, day one, so we're just getting acclimated there. I'll say this, though. I was kidding yesterday a little bit when I get the scripts sometimes, and we're scripting. And one of the things is we went really from, like, OTA summer workouts right into camp. Yeah. So I don't feel like in the NFL you have that break, and then everyone's coming back trying to get in mode. We're kind of just keep pushing through. But I would say when I'm looking at a 7-on-7 script, and we got like 38 plays on it, and in the NFL we're like 12. I get about play 15. I'm like, okay, is this for the rest of the week, or are we still going here? Is there a horn coming anytime soon? This thing is still rolling. But you have all the players. You want to get all the groups out there and get those reps. You're trying to get everybody a chance to get better. So I totally get it. But that's the biggest thing when you look at the practice schedule with the plays, and we're still building. Like, that was day one. We got day two. It's going to keep going. Sometimes I think we're going to get to the end of the week. That's more plays than I probably ran in a week of training camp.
No, it's just fascinating seeing all the fans out here, too. I feel like Tyvis talked about how, as a player, that would get him going. Do you, as a coach, sometimes have to say, all right, guys, I know there's fans over here, but right now we're standing at this fence line. There's a dummy, and your hands are not where they need to be on this drill. Like, how hard is it sometimes, as good as this is, to keep guys focused on, like, today you have to do this because we play Texas in a month, and that has to happen.
Yeah, I love the fans. I love them being out here. I love them enjoying it. That energy, like you said, you do feel it. You feel the excitement. You feel everyone, out there wanting to see what's going on, and that raises everyone's level of competition and effort and all of it. So we need that. Get everybody here. Let's go. Get screaming, get yelling, and let's feel it. But it's a great opportunity for us to teach, hey, focus, because it's going to be the same thing in a game. Whether we're home or we're away, you got to really block out all of that outside noise and just focus on, your job, your task at hand in that particular play. And I think it's good. It's good practice for us.
Coach, I know you guys haven't gotten to the scrimmage day. I think that's Saturday. But you, in the spring, you've had chances to play it, play the ball, and you got to go up against Coach Hartline.
Yep.
How has that competition been? Because both of you guys are both new coordinators. How has it been to try to win against him?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're both pretty competitive guys. So we're gonna, a lot of times I'm out there being like, hey, I know you saw the install today, but let's go. Let's not scheme it up too much here. Let's see what we can. No, it's great. Coach Hart does a great job with that group. I think he's really doing an excellent job distributing the ball and mixing in some new schemes. Coach Bowen with the O-line now, kind of some new stuff up there, and watching that group develop. So, my football eye, I'm watching both sides. I love that game. So a lot of times we're out there, we're calling the defense, and we're getting that out there, and then I'm looking, I'm like, oh, that was a good block right there. Like how they schemed that up, and some of the quarterback reads. I enjoy it a lot. So it's fun, competition.
We've got a meeting to get you to, because I hear they do meetings around here, and that's fine. But we appreciate your time today. Coach Matt Patricia joining us, new defensive coordinator here at Ohio State. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me. You guys are the best. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon. There you go. We're going to get off to his meeting. He was actually saying beforehand, not running to meetings. We're making good time.
Yeah. 30 years ago, I would have ran to a meeting. Right now, it's a slow stroll. I got to get there.
All right, we'll come back in just a couple minutes with Clip That next. It's T-Bone and Tyvis on.